again here. The Memphis Grizzlies getting set to take on the Sacramento Kings at FedEx Forum. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. We're both from Grind City Media, and we're going to be here with you for the next half hour to get you ready for this game. The Grizzlies coming in at 14-8, Sacramento Kings 10-12, and Mike just got back from Dallas with the team on this road trip, where they had the one-game road trip where they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. 112-116 was the final score. Fourth quarter.
121.
I'm sorry, 116 final score at Dallas, and the fourth quarter turned into a free throw shooting contest by the Mavericks, who had what 24-3 in the fourth quarter free throw attempts. Grizzlies ended up taking the loss after winning 6 straight. So the Grizzlies had some good things, played pretty well for 3 quarters of that game, but ended up getting the loss.
Yeah, they did. It was an unfortunate way for that game to come down. It was a lesson, though. You know what I mean? I know those guys didn't want to take, moral victories or anything like that. It was frustrating. Jaren Jackson Jr. told me immediately after that game that, no, I don't want to learn anything from this. This isn't growing pains. This is one we let get away. We are better than this. Yeah. And for him to take that kind of accountability, yes, we could talk about the free throw disparity and all of those kind of things. Bottom line, the Grizzlies were undisciplined defensively in that fourth quarter. The Dallas Mavericks took advantage of it. They used that leverage against them. The officials were blowing the whistles in favor of Dallas. The Grizzlies took 10 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. They weren't as aggressive offensively. But at the end of the day, man, you took a loss against a defending Western Conference champion, and you pick up the pieces from there and prove that bad taste is out of your mouth tonight.
I reject this notion that I've been getting a lot of it on Twitter.
Yes.
That the Grizzlies, they just fouled a lot in the fourth quarter.
They did.
Okay, well,
they fouled a lot.
Yeah, but not 30. They didn't foul 300% less than Dallas did. 280% less free throw attempts than Dallas. 44-14 free throw differential, and that fourth quarter was 20-something. They did foul, sure, okay.
But it was also when they fouled and how they fouled. Dallas got in the penalty really early, right? The Grizzlies did. So that means every time you touch Dallas the rest of the way,
or not touch them.
But you know,
okay.
Hey, hey, listen.
It was tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough way to go out. The Grizzlies still should have won that game. You have an 8-point lead with 3 minutes left, and your main guys on the floor. Yeah. Close that out. Have 2 possessions or 3 possessions where you execute offensively and shut the door. The Grizzlies couldn't do that. Dallas did, and they'll learn from it. They will.
We actually have video of Marcus Smart after that game talking about the Grizzlies trying to get back on track and what they need to do to get back on track.
What are some of the things you guys can learn down the stretch in a game like this as a team, though? I mean, you guys are right in position to do what you wanted to do coming in here and then just finishing out a game like this.
Yeah, that's it. Just finish. Getting back to our pace. Our pace was a little bit slow this game. And every time we were able to get in the paint, we got good looks. We just got to continue to do more of that and finish the game. We're kind of out there playing not to lose instead of just playing to win, and that's what happened.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but I gotta ask the free throws. They shot
44 to what? 14? 30 in the second half. Like 20 in the fourth. Yeah, horrible. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, we got Ja Morant, you got Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain driving to the basket, and we only get 14 free throws. I mean, hey, enough said. I mean, if they don't say nothing, and that don't show you the discrepancy, I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, when a team shoots 30 more free throws than another team, especially when the team that only has 14 free throws is the number 1 in pace and moving the ball and getting to the rim the way we do, and we only get 14 free throws, you got to ask yourself. But, I mean, hey, control what we control, and on to the next one.
On to the next one.
On to the man. It couldn't have been more articulately said than that. Yeah. He did everything he could to not just blast the officials, but still get his point across. Yeah. Man, kudos to Marcus Smart, man, for articulating that in the way that he did, because he got his point across. He's right. You're number 1 in the league in paint points, and you only get 14 free throws. So my thing is, it's not that the Grizzlies didn't foul. Sure. It's just that they didn't. They were aggressive too, and they didn't get the benefit.
They weren't getting the same call.
Yes.
Whenever people are like, "Wow, the Grizzlies just shoot a lot of threes," I'm like, "Well, they lead the league in paint points. Like they're going to the rim. Clearly, they're getting to the rim. Like Ja just goes to the basket all game long. Yes. They just weren't getting those calls. Taylor Jenkins spoke before the game tonight about that fourth quarter and the way that it's sort of become a thing now. We have a tweet from quarter by quarter the Grizzlies in the fourth quarter are like minus 60 something on the season. And now look, I get a lot of that was that 6-game win streak. And the fourth quarter you were trying to rest guys, blowing teams out. Fourth quarter didn't matter as much.
Yeah.
They're just minus 46 in the fourth quarter of the season. But Taylor Jenkins said, like in that Dallas game specifically, he wants to see the Grizzlies try to continue to play with that pace and that speed for all four quarters. And he said, in that Dallas game, it's not just with 2 minutes to go the game slows down. He said when 10 and a half minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you can't go away from
your principles.
Yeah.
Your principles, your possessions, your pace. It's hard to play like that, though. But that's what the expectation is for Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when people question, why is he not playing Ja and Jaren more minutes at the end of the game or overall, it's because they want to play at a certain pace throughout the game.
Yeah.
You can't have those guys going full throttle every single moment. So you got to have a bench come in at some stages of the game. And that's why he's playing 11 and 10, 11 deep. But having said that, man, you can't get to that pace all the time. At some point, you need a change-up. And the Grizzlies have to still work on half-court execution and finding that change-up when necessary.
Yeah, for sure. And in the fourth quarter games, generally in the NBA, things slow down.
They do.
Got to figure out. It's hard to play that up-tempo style for four quarters. Other news in the Grizzlies universe, the Grizzlies added a home game next week, next Friday here against the Brooklyn Nets as part of the
Nets.
The Nets,
Those
who were
Nets.
2-0 against us this year. The Grizzlies get a chance for a little payback here against the Nets on next Friday, 7 o'clock. A chance to get a little payback, and the Lakers.
Hey, I tweeted the same thing. Why are we going outside the family and not going for my Twitter, man?
I was trying to get to Michael Cole a little love. We got some daily Memphian love coming up.
We do. We spread the wealth. We spread the wealth. Your rotation runs deep, right?
Yeah.
The warm-up show rotation goes deep.
Devin Walker in the house.
Yeah, that's in case you didn't know. That's who Devin Walker is. Yes, he gets a lot of camera time now.
He likes it. But now the Grizzlies, they get a chance to get a little payback to the Brooklyn Nets, who they're 0-2 against this season.
Yeah. I mean, it's those two games, man, were two that you look at when you look at the Grizzlies' overall record, and you're saying what two should have gone in the win column. Those definitely were two that should have. The second game in Brooklyn was a fantastic game. Brooklyn played really well in that game. The Grizzlies let one get away here against Brooklyn, so you get them for a third time. They come here. Same thing. They played Detroit of the other conference, the Eastern Conference, 3 times last year. And then both of these games are kind of nemesis games because you get to go to the Lakers at a time when they're desperate
and
too.
We've had like a little back and forth with them this season too.
Yes.
So I think the NBA, somebody was smiling when they put that schedule together a little bit. One last thing before we take a break. We have a little injury update. We just got a tweet from Grizzlies PR that Luke Kennard is out tonight with an illness, so he's out. And then Taylor Jenkins gave us a little bit of a update on Zach Edey.
On Zach Edey, yes. Zach Edey was working, towards ramping up with the possibility of coming back possibly this weekend in a 2-game set against the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards. But Taylor Jenkins said before the game tonight that it hasn't progressed necessarily as well as they were hoping, as encouraging as they're hoping, and they want to give him another week to kind of work on it, the conditioning, get some some massage, some treatment, and some stimulation, and see where it is a week from now. So Zach Edey's probably another week to 2 out from making his return.
For Sacramento tonight, Trey Lyles is out.
Yeah.
Kings also have a back-to-back. They play at San Antonio tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens down the stretch if they want to pull guys or whatever. But we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Jessica Benson is going to join us. Drew Hill's going to join us. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We didn't talk about owling, and you're telling me you didn't know owling?
What the hell is an owling?
Owling is worse than Tebowing.
What is an
How
owling?
far can Kyra zoom out on this camera?
She can zoom all the way out.
Can
Are
she
you going
zoom
this?
out?
What are you doing?
I'm owling.
Okay. Wait, why were we doing this? What is that?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow lace is really bright yellow primary color. You got
black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you've got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
D'Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? Ja Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker, joined by Jessica Benson, as I always am at this time, to talk about tonight's main character. What do you have for us tonight? Who's your main character?
Give the fourth quarter some main character love, and perhaps the Grizzlies have an experience like we are accustomed to on the home court in recent memory, where they've been up double digits. We get the chance for Yuki Kawamura. The people get what they want. But in the case or the event that it is a close game in the fourth quarter, see if the Grizzlies can learn something from their go-around in Dallas the other night. They are, I believe, 2-5 in single-digit games this season. There have not been a ton of close games for them to operate within, but in Dallas, it became the give the ball to Ja Morant and see what happens. Obviously, the fouls in that game, a massive storyline as well, but we'll see. This Kings team is better than their 10-12 record, and they are coming to play their way up in the standings.
I was going to say, is that your lesson in the fourth quarter? Just don't get all the calls against you?
Yeah, that too.
That was part of it. But
don't let the other team shoot 26 free throws.
We had a stat from our friend Sean Coleman earlier that he had put out that showed in the fourth quarter the Grizzlies are minus 48 on the season or something like that. And I was saying that to me that's a little bit of a misnomer because like there was so many games the last 2 weeks where they had such a big lead that the fourth quarter it didn't really matter.
Right.
Like you empty the bench and just kind of finish the game and try not to get anybody hurt. So those numbers are probably a little skewed, but for the most part, I get it. Taylor said before the game, Taylor Jenkins said before the game that he would like to see them continue to play the offense we've been running all season. But in the fourth quarter, he understands it slows down, but don't start that at 10 minutes, start that at 2 minutes. And hopefully they're able to continue to keep that pace principle in possession.
And even when it slows down in the half court, figure out a way for that ball to keep moving. I think that's what stood out the most is we become so accustomed to the high assist numbers for this group. And when you saw the drop-off specifically in the fourth quarter, it was like they didn't know what to do because they're so used to the ball moving, all of the cuts, the constant motion. And so it will be an adjustment period, and we know that's how it happens. In close games, it becomes a half-court offense, half-court set kind of game. In the playoffs, it becomes that way too. So these are important reps to be getting, and now you see if you can build on it. It's draw time.
Are you ready for the St. Jude half marathon?
Oh, thank you for asking, Lang. I haven't talked about it enough. I don't know if the people know, but I'm running the half marathon on Saturday. I have my wristband to make sure they know I'm over 21. I went and picked up my race packet before I came. No, I'm not ready. I have deep regrets of signing up for this. No, I'm too competitive to walk.
Who are you competing against?
Myself. Me, myself, and I. I'm excited, though. It's always the cool thing about the St. Jude Marathon weekend is that you get to run through the St. Jude campus. And I've done the 5K in the past, and you get that opportunity. And where it comes during the course of the half marathon, you're like 10 miles in. And there is nothing more inspiring that will get your little booty to keep running than running through the campus of St. Jude and seeing the kids there, and they're waving and cheering you on. So.
I'm going to be at the St. Jude Marathon Saturday because I got invited to a watch party in someone's yard.
So you're going to cheer me on?
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you a beer or something when you come by.
I don't think we go through Central Gardens. I think only the marathon goes.
It's close enough, yeah.
I'll just do a detour. What's another 2 miles out of my way?
It's off Poplar somewhere. Maybe it's on North Parkway. Is it? Yeah, maybe it's right there. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Jessica Benson. We're gonna watch
every night with the Grizzlies isn't a marathon; it's a sprint.
We're gonna watch a clip from your show right now, from earlier today, where you guys were talking about something, and I forget. But we're gonna watch it. Drew Hill's gonna join us right now.
For them. So this is a Kings team trying to win, a Kings team that has not played as well as they would have hoped early on in the year. And so the Grizzlies will have to have their hands full.
Jaylen Wells on De'Aaron Fox.
That's what I would expect.
I look forward to seeing that.
those are the types of players he does a really, really good job of defending. Those quick, fast, shifty players, he does a really good job getting into them and keeping them in front of him. I can't think about Jaylen Wells without thinking about how well he defended Maxey, how well he's defended Tyrese Halliburton. I look forward to seeing what he does against De'Aaron Fox, another one of those players in that mold.
Who's on DeRozan? Do you put Jaren on DeRozan?
No.
No?
No, you put, I guess, Bane on DeRozan to start. And then you figure it out from there.
And Ja and Malik, obviously. We'll see. I'm excited for tonight's game. It should be a good one at FedEx Forum.
It should be a good game. It's going to be a good game because we're here. I'm Lang Whitaker. He's Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian joining us on the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We talked to Jaylen Wells this morning. That's what the clip was about, Jaylen and his defensive presence. What have you seen from him this season that has made him so effective so quickly as a second-round draft pick?
I love his attitude. I just love what he brings to the table. I love his calm demeanor at every single turn. He talked about it this morning a little bit. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Everybody says it. It's a big cliche, but I feel like Jaylen Wells is the type of player that really embodies that sort of energy. And for him to come in, I remember I spoke to his dad at Summer League, and his dad's been sort of vocal as he's gotten his son has gotten his NBA career started. His dad said it's really important for Jaylen to believe like he belongs on the court with the stars of the NBA. He showed that right away. He came in with the perfect attitude. He plays really hard. He's been learning a lot from a lot of the guys. He's gotten a lot of credit for the studying that he does of the game, and so I think all that's made Jaylen a really good player right away.
I think it's also he's got such a clear role. They're not asking him to give you 20 a night. They're not asking him to create his own shot off the dribble and all that. They're like, just go play defense. You're going to get some open looks, knock those down. They're not asking too much from him, and he seems up to the task. You were in Dallas the other night. You mentioned to me earlier, what was that, the locker room after that fourth quarter? What was the vibe in there?
It was one of the more bizarre atmospheres I think I've been in. On one hand, you had a team that was hurting because they let a game slip away, and you heard it multiple times inside the locker room. We had them, and they did have them late in that game. On the other hand, you outplayed the Dallas Mavericks for 3 quarters, so really how much can you beat yourself up over a loss like that? And so I thought it was a good mix. And there was some frustration with the officiating after the game. I think everybody sort of left frustrated. I don't know how it's enjoyable to watch an NBA game with the team going to the free throw line 26 times in a quarter. But I think overall the energy of the locker room was disappointed in the result, not disappointed with the big picture outlook.
Yeah, and you've been watching this team from training camp till now. Coming into the season, there's all this talk about new offense and figuring out this stuff. Taylor was asked tonight pregame to give a grade to it. And he was like, it's too early, it's incomplete, or work in progress. What would you say, just having watched from training camp till now? I don't want you to put a grade on it, but what would you say? How has this offense looked to you so far?
I think it's been impressive. It's been interesting because they're doing a lot of different things, and they're getting the same results that the team was getting 2 or 3 years ago. You throw last season out, they were a team that wasn't a great half-court offense team, but still ranked top 5 in the league in offense because they were able to get out in transition, because they were able to grab a lot of offensive rebounds. You're seeing the same formula play out on the court now. It's just coming in a different way. They're not using pick and rolls. They're using lots of cuts and spacing, and I think the end result is exactly what you would want from this team, which is a top 5 scoring offense in the league.
Last thing, Ja Morant's right behind us right now warming up. This season has been interesting because he talked about in Dallas he's not going to dunk anymore. What was your, is that just a little hyperbole from Ja, or do you think we're witnessing a different style of play coming from Ja?
The truth is usually in the middle somewhere. I think Ja's going to dunk again this season. I don't think he's not going to dunk again the rest of the season. I do think he's making a very conscious effort to be careful with the way he maneuvers through a game. He doesn't need to be flying through the air and taking all the bumps and bruises over the course of the season. What I've really loved from him is he's using his hang time and his ability to jump to find open teammates, and that's been really impressive. He's got the best passing numbers of his career, so I think he's being smart. I don't think the highlights are finished for the season. I don't buy it.
Are you think Alabama's making the playoff?
I sure hope so, man. Pony up this weekend. Let's go SMU.
You're a big SMU fan here because you got to get Clemson out of the picture, and then maybe we get a fourth SEC team in there. Yeah, I'm wearing my SEC belt this weekend, my T-shirt. Like I want as many SEC teams as we can get.
Hey, it was nice of you to show up in your SMU colors.
That's
I know
right.
You want all of us in.
Yeah. I got a red Lashley undershirt on. Like
Do you want another shot at the Tide?
Yes, because I was saying. Milroe plays like Michael Vick against us and Marcus Vick against everybody else. Like we gotta. One of these times he's not going to play amazing against us. I just don't know when that's going to be. But well, we'll see.
Roll Tide, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, Drew Hill. We're going to take one more break. We're going to come back with Michael Wallace. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
The three big beats this week. One was root for points in honor of John Roser. How about that Miami-Louisville game?
Good
Crushed
grief.
the over, which was 60. Finished with 97 total points, 52-45. Meanwhile, the Academy's covering again, both Army and Navy, getting the job done.
This.
Army, best start since 96.
America.
Navy crushed Charlotte. They're ranked 23rd and 24th in the country.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now every time you go to Miami, you can go see, like, that's a statue of me there.
No, I don't look nothing like that thing, man. Look, I'm sorry.
I would have been offended.
Look at that. That is UTA.
Oh, look. Hey, y'all got to get that screenshot, man. Put that on the...
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker. He's Michael Wallace. We've got about 6 minutes before we kick it over to FanDuel Sports Network for Grizzlies Live or ESPN 92.9 for their pregame show. We're going to go around the NBA like we always do at this time, and we don't have to go far to start. Cam Spencer the other night in South Haven went off.
Yes.
He scored 51 points in this game. Was finished, I think, 12 for 14 on threes.
12 for 15 on threes. Yep.
Was unbelievable.
One free throw.
Yeah.
One free throw. Yeah.
He was just kind of hot from the start.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the clips, like, I mean, he played an amazing game. First of all, like, I don't know if the Grizzlies were expecting this kind of production from him, but how does he, like, the tough part for him is there's sort of a logjam ahead of him at the NBA.
Yes.
So, like, what happens now?
And Taylor Jenkins reached out to him the night after that game. The Grizzlies were in Dallas when he went off for that, that 51 points on Monday. And he said, listen, man, keep doing what you're doing. The one thing that's impressive, or one of the many things that was impressive about Cam, was that he was more pumped about winning that game.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have gotten 51 in a loss, his energy would have been different, right? Yeah. And Taylor said, look, just keep working. It's going to be tough to get you the minutes at this level, but when we do get into that pinch, when we need you, we know you're going to be ready. Yeah. And the fact that he took so much joy in that performance and how he did it and getting the win, that tells you when he gets minutes up here, he's going to be ready. You know what I mean? The shooters on this team, Luke Kennard, Desmond Bane, both looked at him and looked at his performance and was like, man, just wait till we have a chance to get him up here with us. So it's an encouraging sign, and good shout-outs and kudos to Cam Spencer for that developmental opportunity.
That was unbelievable. Ja Morant's on the court behind us right now doing his free throws. He's going to dunk at the end of these free throws. Well, he does here. This is a warm-up.
Yes.
But he said in Dallas the other night after the game that he's not trying to dunk anymore. I asked Drew Hill about this. It came up while we were talking. Drew was like, well, I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Do you think we see no more dunks from Ja?
Oh, we're going to see dunks from Ja. He's just such an instinctive player.
That's what I think.
When he gets in the air, you know, he's not going to say, oh, I was going to dunk this and let me just lay it in. Or he might troll us and do it because he can. That's just part of his game. I understand what he's saying. He doesn't want to put that additional wear and tear on his body when he doesn't have to, especially challenging guys with the dunk. Now, if it's a breakaway, Ja, go be a superstar. But if you're trying to just go straight ram a guy through the hardwood, he's not going to do that anymore because it's not worth the wear and tear on his body. I get it. He's smart. He's smart talking to him. I remember LeBron used to talk about this midway through his career. Vince Carter kind of talked about it midway through. Tracy McGrady definitely talked about it.
I was talking about it with Mark Jones, who's the Sacramento Kings announcer. And Mark was saying he was with the Heat when you were back there. And he was talking about Dwayne Wade went through this. And I was like, you remember Dwayne Wade? They had the whole Converse ad campaign, fall down 6 times, get up 7. It was all about the wear and tear he was taking. And he kind of had to adjust to take that out of his game. And I think maybe that's what Ja's kind of alluding to.
And Ja's hitting that at an earlier stage in his career, too, because Ja's 5 years in now. So I keep thinking that it was just yesterday that he got here. But, he's got to be smarter about it. And, you know, his assist rate is high. So he's making the best plays at the biggest rate of his career in terms of a facilitator. And that's what he wants to focus on right now. But we're still going to see a flash or two of attack Ja.
Although I do see like every game almost.
I mean, his whole commercial was about fly Ja. You know what I'm saying? You got to fly.
Every game that he gets into that position where he does that move from half court, he cuts left, he gets in the paint, and he in the past he might have gone up there and tried to posterize somebody, and now you see him like think, all right, I'm trying to think a little long term here and try to like be careful with this. So, but speaking of injuries around the NBA, the New Orleans Pelicans have been going through it this year. They're at the point now, there was a report this week that Brandon Ingram, they're trying to figure out what to do with him. Zion's hurt again. DeJounte Murray comes back. Ingram's in a weird situation with them. Like they can either extend him or not, and then you get nothing back for him. Like I don't know. What do you do if you're the Pelicans with this?
If they're going to continue to not win games like this, then you got to look at moving Brandon Ingram. You got to, because you can't afford to lose him in that market without getting any kind of assets back. And we know he still is an attractive piece. He can go to another team, a contender, and help potentially put them over the top. So you have to be in position where you can't do like what the Clippers did with Paul George. Like the Clippers are in a different situation. They're a veteran team. They're older, and they can fill those pieces a little bit better. New Orleans has to get something for Brandon Ingram. The same way they got something for Anthony Davis being Brandon Ingram in that situation.
All right, we got a minute and a half before tip-off. Give me one more matchup you're looking forward to tonight in this Grizzlies-Kings game.
I'm going to go with the old school, shooting guard matchup. I want to see DeMar DeRozan, Desmond Bane, DeMar DeRozan, Marcus Smart, and see what happens in that matchup, particularly in the fourth quarter.
I'll go John Deere and Fox.
That's always exciting.
2 guys with their signature shoes just came out. See them go head-to-head. It's always fun. So if you're watching us right now, you got about a minute. You can flip over to FanDuel Sports Network and watch Grizzlies Live with Pete, Rob, Chris, and Brev. You can flip over to ESPN 92.9 with Jessica, Eric, Elliot, and Bennett. And then in half an hour, the game's going to start. The next home game was the one that got added here next Friday, a week from Friday, against the Brooklyn Nets. You can get tickets now. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. We appreciate you hanging out with us tonight on the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.